start a new project. I'm doing a little end gauge layout. I live in a one bedroom flat, so I have very limited space. I happen to have this odd bit of plywood, which is like 2 by 3 foot, give or take. It's like shorter. Some sizes here. What size is 18 by 44 mil. Plain wood. We'll make the frame up with this. I'm not going to bore people measuring it up and cutting it and so on, but once I cut the wood up ready for the framework, I will do a time lapse as I'm putting it together. I'm sure most people know how to measure and cut wood. I've got 2 strips of this, which is 1.8 meters long, so it should be more enough just to do a general sort of surround and then a cross piece. It's a very small bit of wood. It's only engaged, not be a lot of weight. It's only there's going to be sort of 3 levels, but it's going to be mainly polystyrene stuff, so it's not, doesn't need to be super strong. Not like doing a 00 6 foot length. So I will come back once the wood is cut up. Right, so the wood is all cut up. Hopefully the camera's in roughly the right location, because I managed to yeet it across the floor while I was cutting the wood. So I've got 2 pieces which are 855 mil long, and I have 3 pieces which are 575, so I'll be able to strengthen this across. There was a bit of a hole which I got lucky where I had to cut it, but it should be handy if I had to poke some cables through, so I'll probably use that in the centrepiece, so I can run the cables through for the bus wire, because I will be using DCC on this model, on this layout. I've previously had 00 stuff, so I've got a Hornby Select and a Hornby Elite controller, so I'm planning to reuse one of those. Hope to Select, but it depends, because the loco I have got has got lots of sounds, and Select only lets you use up to 7 functions. There's lots of extra sounds, so I might have to use the big boy, but that's a lot further down the line at the moment. So what I will do, so before people start screaming at me when I start doing the time lapse, yes, I should be clamping these to make sure they're square when I screw them together, but I don't have clamps. I don't build enough to have bought them before. My plan is to just lay them on this bit of board. It's not huge lengths, so it shouldn't be too much of an issue, and then once it's screwed into here, it's not going to go anywhere, so I'm not worried. I was saying, if I was doing 8 foot long ones, I'd probably be more concerned about making sure they're square and straight. I will try and square them up as much as possible, but once it's attached to this board, it's not going to go anywhere. Like I was saying, it's not going to be a huge amount of weight on it, so it will be fine. Anyway, enough of my drivel. I will turn over to a time lapse while I start building the frame up, and then potentially attach it to the horse. So let's get that going. Right, so the board is ready. I'm sure some of you were sat there watching thinking like, oh, you should be countersinking those screws. Yes, I probably could have. I've got one somewhere, I have no idea where it is, I haven't used it for years, but I'm not bothered, because this isn't the board that things will be based on. Well, this is the baseboard, but there'll be layers of polystyrene first, which will start building up to bring the levels up, because the track isn't going to be on this board, on this level, it's going to be a higher level. So we've got polystyrene should be a base. There'll be about 50 mil is the plan. There'll be the track plan on top of that, and then on this side there will be like a town area, which will be another raised section, which will have some more track as well. So there'll be some tunnels. Loop. I have the plan, which won't show on there, but what I'll do at some point, I'll go to the desk and I'll do a little screen capture to show a bit more detail of what the actual plan is. I don't know how long it's going to take, I don't know how many videos I'm going to do this, because it's the first sort of training I've done in probably 10 years, if not more. So I'm not going to rush it. Yeah, so we'll see how it goes. I'll see you at the desk. Pick the pieces that I want to make sure they actually fit on the board. Fortunately, I can't print the full size. I want you to pay for that one, but it gives me an idea to lay out. So this is using the Pico track, doing this outer section, which doesn't look like it's showing on the capture, but anyway. So the curve on the right hand side here is using flex track because I couldn't get it to match that no matter what set pieces I used, like half curves, full curves, like straights or whatever. But it's not important. I've got all the track except for the ST2s, so these short ones in here. They haven't got any stock. I don't know when we can get them in. I could probably order them from somewhere else, but I didn't want to wait, so I've got some extra pieces. Basically, I'm going to cut them down to size. I need a couple of bits and pieces. So this is what I'm saying. So you've got the baseboard. This bit's going to be sitting on some 50mm polystyrene. It's actually 25mm, but I'll be doing double height. So you see here there will be a bridge. So there'll be some road coming down. This is the main level, and then you can see you've got some tunnel mouths here, a couple of sidings, potentially some sort of platform here, maybe. Until I've got all the track in place, it's a bit loose. The actual sort of general idea is going to be South Wales in the mid-60s is the general idea. It's not based on a particular location. That's just the general vibe I'm going for. The only reason I went for that is because the one engine I could pick up when I was at my model shop had to be a class 14, which was based out of Cardiff in the mid-60s. I picked that one because it had sound, and it's a pretty cool sound to be fair for what it is. So yeah, this is going to be the main level, and then there'll be another level on top, which will be like a town scene, and this will be a little tramway. So this is actually using Kato track. Again, I went in, got all the pieces, but picked up the wrong curve pieces. So I won't be doing that bit yet. But again, that's not urgent, that one. That can wait for whenever. I'm going to have all this lower bit down to do anyway, so no rush. So that's the general idea, the layout. Let's see what Scam does with this. Right, let's try that again. Slight tweak on the settings in the background. So I'm going to flick over to, this is the 3D representation of it. It doesn't do landscape perfectly, but gives you an idea. So in theory the road will come under these two bridges, up under this one, it'll loop round and up to, and then the road level will be up here. So the road will cross over this piece of tram line, as it will be. Still trying to get used to the controls. So in theory there'll be a bridge over here, so there might be a platform here, and then maybe some stairs leading up to a town, potentially. Depends how much space I've actually got here once it's on the board. I'm not quite convinced how it's going to work at the moment, or can go around the back, but again, the general track lays out and the design will just go as it goes along. But gives you a rough idea. So you've got a couple tunnel mouths there. That would be one double tunnel. It's just the way that Scam sort of works it out. And as you see, there's a couple of sidings, one in the middle, one over here. Obviously, being Wales, I may have this as an old sort of disused coal depot potentially. So it's an overgrown track and some, and then in the middle they haven't quite designed. Again, a lot of this is in the air, just playing by ear. Once the track's in place, and I've got the general landscape in place, I can go from there. That will probably be it. I'll probably leave it there. I don't want to have too long of videos. I mean, I've watched quite a lot of modelling videos. Some can be quite long. I ramble. So yeah, so I'll leave it like that one, and then hopefully the next one I'll start doing some track stuff. I've got all the polystyrene ready to go. I've got most of the tracks I've got to cut down. So next video will be me cutting the track up, hopefully putting some polystyrene on and get some rough layout. So yeah, I hope to see you then. Potentially, consider liking and subscribing when I put another video out. Obviously you'll get notifications. Hopefully it won't be too long. I'm saying I have no plans of how long this is going to take. So I work full time, so hope to see you again.